This foundation began in the mid-90s, and this space is 4 or 5 years old. Having all these years of collecting, I wanted to be able to give something back which would be good for this community and would be good for the art world. I like to be challenged when I go into an exhibition. If you expect that you're going to get it just because you think you have a natural eye, it doesn't happen that way. It happens by really working at it and then finding something that you have a gut reaction to and then going back and studying about it. I was very interested in art from the time I was 10 or 12 years old. My father collected French Rococo painting. I kind of went on these hunts of trying to find these French Rococo pictures with him, so that really inspired me to start collecting. Once I became 16, 17, I wanted to really have my own identity. The first piece that I acquired was an early pop drawing of Andy Warhol's called Stacked Campbell Soup Cans, and I purchased it in 1967. I had spent a lot of time in Europe and met Bruno Bischofberger. He introduced me to Leo Castelli. Leo became a mentor of mine, and he was a big influence to me as a collector. The first time I met Andy, I had just graduated from the University of Colorado. I'd already had 5 or 6 paintings of his, and he had heard that I had collected some of these important paintings, and he wanted to know who I was. We became, good friends, and I was involved not too much longer after that with publishing Interview magazine, which we still publish today. I really felt that what was happening in New York was the most important thing happening in the world. After a short while, I became addicted to collecting. I quickly learned that what to look for was artists that were more radical, that were introducing something new to an art world, which would be like a scientist contributing to science. It wasn't just about beauty, existing beauty at the time, that it was really about what would become beautiful in the future. I go back to museums sometimes 2-3 times a year to see the same picture, and every time I see it, it tells me something different. So I think the years of doing that over and over, visiting artist studios, going to well-curated shows and badly curated shows, is a great exercise for having that intuition. One of the first paintings I purchased was the shot Marilyn. I really hunted to get it. It was a very special thing, but I can't tell you how many people laughed when they came to my apartment in New York and said, "You gotta be kidding me. This is a photograph blown up with paint slapped on it." And today, it's one of the most beautiful works of art in the world. That's how quickly it can change. At that time, I had a Judd stack, a Carl Andre floor piece. In my bedroom, I was a bachelor, and I had a round bed and a Dan Flavin behind it. And I had an Oldenburg big blue shirt with a brown tie, and a great Liechtenstein, several other paintings of Andy's. That's the way I lived then. Today, I really live mostly with a combination of younger artists and older artists. I think it's very important to stay current and not just think the generation that you specialized in is the last word. I love Andy Warhol, but I love Jeff Koons too, and I love Urs Fischer. I have works by Nate Lohman, Dan Colin, Josh Smith, Elizabeth Payton, John Curran. But I think of all the artists that I've seen their work, for the first time, probably Jeff Koons appeared to me the most radical. He was, and for me, still is, out there. But I have no doubts he's one of the really great artists of our time and one of the greatest sculptors of the century. I purchased many pieces of his, including the puppy and the balloon dog. It was like the perfect sculpture. It's just so aerodynamic and so pop. I thought that piece would be the perfect thing to offer because I thought it would be embraced by many collectors in the world and by many museums. The reason for it was that I'm very excited about what we're doing here. So what I've tried to do is build an endowment for this foundation going forward.